Hi, welcome to A Fine Podcast with your hosts, Amanda and
Joseph, yes. Welcome to the altar.
yes, the finding the dresses, finding the suits, which we didn't see a whole lot of,
The saying I do's.
the bachelor and bachelorette parties.
Yeah, the very short. Everything was like so concise this season, which I think was kind of great because there just isn't that much happening in this. But compared to like the previous season, I feel like there is a lot less
Yeah.
to hear. Which maybe nothing happened, but I mean there really was not much. I feel like in the first episode it was just almost
Like they drag out the dresses and the suits and the talking and the pods and everything. And then here it was like brief little clips of all of it.
yeah.
Yeah, so we're talking about episodes 9 and 10. You mentioned the I do's, but there are also I don'ts.
There are, yes, yeah. They're not as I was kind of surprised. There was not as many as I thought. The I don'ts. I thought there might be more, but
Really?
yeah. Yes, ha ha ha. Oh really?
Wow. Well, let's first start off by asking you how your day is going. I love how you just try to rush in and, not tell anything personal at the beginning.
Yeah.
No, that's okay.
That's
You're
alright.
eager to get to the storyline.
Yeah. I'm just pacing the floor to get to it. I can't. My britches are barely staying on because
You're
I'm so excited.
pacing the chair.
Yeah. But
He's
no,
pacing the chair in a church corridor.
I am doing fine. I am glad it's cooling off, I guess.
Yes, the weather outside is finally not sweltering hot, which is a huge positive.
It's always like that shock for me where I don't know, I go outside and then you're so used to just like having the sun just blare on you and the heat just immediately hitting you, but then you walk outside and it's like cool out or it's like either the same as, your house temperature or even cooler and then it's like, "Whoa, this is weird."
Yeah, and a nice refreshing breeze where I'm used to like bringing the fan outside when I like to sit on the front porch. And then now it's like the breeze is already there.
Yeah.
I feel like we've hit that perfect time to sit outside and enjoy the weather.
Yeah, I feel like we are losing or breaking the heat of summer and fall is coming upon us.
Yes, and now you're addicted to going outside where it was my favorite pastime. And I was thinking to myself, oh, maybe I'll go sit outside. And you're like, hey, yeah, I'm going to go sit outside now. And I'm totally shocked.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think it's just because I kind of had an epiphany.
You had the epiphany when I told you it's doing wonders for my mental health to sit outside and enjoy some greenery.
Yeah, but I've always been able to feel like to handle the same environment without any issue. But I don't know.
Yeah, he likes his dark dungeon and it's also hot. Like he doesn't turn on the air conditioner in his office and he likes it pitch black.
It's mental toughness. That's what it is.
Yeah, you're building yourself up.
Exactly. I like to keep myself mentally tough for the impossible.
But then you discovered you could actually enjoy a different environment. Explain this. Explain your epiphany.
I mean, nothing. I feel like I spend too much time in my office. I need to
Yeah.
see some other parts of the world.
Of the house.
Yeah, meaning more so my house, but
Uh,
it sounds better when I say the world.
the world. No, but it is fun, isn't it? I feel like I haven't been to my office in a little while.
Yeah, you barely are ever in yours now.
Yeah, which is crazy because I'm like enjoying time downstairs and hanging out with the boys. And then when I hang out with both of them in my office isn't great because it can't fit both of them in there. But I don't know, by the time I make it up to my office, it's like, okay, I'm going to have to go down for lunch. So I might as well just stay down here where there's more space and fun. And then in the afternoon, it's like, oh, yes, it's outside time where I can sit and work outside.
Yeah.
Makes everything better.
Yeah, it is nice.
So, yeah, that's great that you're going to enjoy some outside time too. We'll be fighting for the chairs outside.
I'll just sit somewhere else.
Oh, like where? Not on the porch?
Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to get a
No.
lawn chair, I guess.
What do you mean? There's 2 rocking chairs.
Yeah, no, we could.
We could sit out there together.
I'd be more questioning about you because you're the one who uses both chairs when you're out there.
Yeah, I like to put
only
my
use the
feet up.
one, but
Well, luckily we have other chairs that I could open and put my feet up on.
yeah, that's true.
We do.
Yeah, no, we can share the space.
Yeah. Or you can go out there sometimes and I can go out there sometimes.
Yeah. Or I'll just sit in the middle of the yard and do it.
All right, that's kind of ridiculous. I feel like the sun would still be beating down on you that way.
Would that look weird?
Yes.
You just in the middle of my
We have
lawn
acres
with a lawn chair.
of property
Yeah.
and you'd just be sitting in an open field
With a laptop.
with a laptop. Would you still get the Wi-Fi signal?
Need a booster.
You should like get a super long extension cord to meet you in the middle of the yard.
Yeah, that's true. I could do that. I do have lots of feet for extension cords.
When you said that, I pictured you as an alien with like 4 feet.
Good. That's how you should have imagined it.
Well, speaking of alienistic properties,
All right. Yeah.
let's go into an alienistic type show.
Some of those dresses were pretty alienistic.
The dresses. Really?
No. No, they're fine.
Yeah, I feel like, well, this is what was weird. So first we see the guys going to get their suits and the women, they're going to get their dresses, but they don't focus at all on any of the suit type material that any of the men picked out. There's not a core focus on that. Whereas in the last season of the US Love is Blind, you got to see like what types of pants they were picking out and colors and different things like that.
Yeah, which I get. Well, I don't know if there's a difference with this because it's like the UK version versus the American, and they don't want to like that. I guess there is one difference. I don't know if it's not like a true comparison. I guess because I didn't watch the first season of the UK one. I mean, you showed me like the end of it, but so I don't know if maybe there's something there, but yeah, they barely showed anything. Which all in all, I like this a lot better. I mean, they didn't show much of that because I mean, there's not much there for it, right? Like, do we really want to? I mean, we're gonna see whatever outfit. Do we need to know like their process for picking what they're gonna wear? I don't think I need to know.
Well, that's
that,
true.
but
You'll just see it, right?
yeah, and they don't. And I guess with the American one, they try to get Nick like talking to them more and asking them like how they feel and how do they feel about their partner? Are they going to say yes? And trying to create more of like an interview because I guess that's really all you can do during that. But
which Matt and Emma did go to see them, which they tried to put a little spin on it. They sent Matt to go see the women and they sent Emma to go see the men.
Yeah, and they tried to like reverse the roles of like helping them pick their clothing or whatever, which was
yeah. Emma's like, I like a good suit in my day too.
Yeah, it felt a little out of place, but
yeah, Matt's like, hey, ladies.
Yeah, he's like trying to offer them advice on picking a wedding dress. but no, I mean, all in all, like I said, I liked the whole format because I think it was just you at least saw a little bit of it. That's all you needed to see. There really wasn't much, or even conversationally happening.
Yeah,
I mean, it was more just like seeing the reveal for the women with the family and getting kind of their reaction to that, and I think that
some
was
nice, good moments with that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's all you really need. I think a nice reveal, and that's it.
Yeah. So the key moments in this, Bardha had some heartwarming moments with her mother, and Sorover's mom is very supportive of her. Ashley's sister and friend loved her dress and supported her. And then we get to see Ashley, worrying that Billy's going to say no too. And then cut to the guy's side, and Billy is talking with his father, and he says to his father he doesn't know what he's going to do. And his dad says, if they love each other, love will find a way, son.
Yeah, which this whole thing with, I don't know, Billy, I don't know if was just way too drawn out. I mean, it just, for him to be that worked up or just constantly contemplating how, is the job really going to be this big deal breaker? I don't think it should be that big of a.
Yeah, that's what we were saying when we were watching this. It's just ridiculous at this point. He already talked about the job, he got over it, but now he's like bringing it up again. If you are truly into somebody and really love them, and you've already talked about in the future, eventually she won't have to work this job, or she'll find a different type of job if it gets in the way of their relationship, then you figured it out. So it's like, let's just deal with, what's coming and face it together. Why is this a question if we love each other? Just like his dad said, if there's love there, then why is this even a question?
Yeah.
So, but yes, there were some nice moments too with Megan and her family, but that was it. Everybody had some nice moments there. And then Billy's questioning things, and poor Ashley has to wonder about things instead of enjoying the moments leading up to her wedding day too. That must have been tough to first have that conversation with Billy and say, I'm 100% in. And then he says, oh yeah, well, I'm 50-50.
That's true. Looking back at it, I wonder if she's almost going to be like, what the heck did you put me through for, almost kind of, minimizing my ability to be able to, be more excited about things, because there is like this lingering thing of, is he committed, or is he gonna bail? So
Right.
I also did like how they had to make the formal announcement that, oh well, Javin and Katisha will not be here.
What was up with this? What was up with this? And then Megan's like, of course.
I mean, I guess it was like, like Barda, right? We didn't really see her and Katisha talk that much, I guess.
Well, I guess, they're making the formal
but like
announcement
the other
for the
people, who really weren't, clearly, Meg was involved with the whole thing, so she knew. But
clearly
maybe the
everybody
other ones.
knew.
I
like
would
the elephant
imagine,
in the room,
especially because I'm sure they would have all been talking to each other about it.
And then there was this formal like, yes, she was wonderful. It's just too bad she can't be here at this current time.
Yeah. So
it's like this awkward moment.
Yeah, it's like, just in case anyone doesn't know, they will not be here,
and they are no longer together, and they will no longer
continue in this experiment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good announcement. So let's talk about the bachelorette and bachelor parties. The guys go out to a different place than the girls, and the girls have a drag queen that comes out, and they participate in these questions that the drag queen is asking them, and they have a strut off, and every girl gets on stage and walks around, and the one who looked like a natural on there was Megan, of course, the performer, the dancer. She did the splits on stage.
Yeah. I mean, she mentioned she was ready to have her turn. So
yeah, she was really excited about it. And everybody else was kind of awkward. They're like, well, I hope I look good on stage.
Yeah.
And then she just like came in there with like 1,000% confidence. So yeah. So things we learn at these parties, we learn that Barda and Jed finally had their first argument together. And the argument was about who's going to pay the bill at a fancy dinner that they went to.
I am shocked that, I guess they give him some time, right? Because it does seem like there's so many situations that Love is Blind doesn't capture. Like this argument, or whatever, this dinner. I mean, they didn't have this, but this was like a big deal. So then,
yeah, they didn't.
There's so
get
much
it at
talk,
all.
but it's just you've got to hear, everybody's, just from a third party ear of of how what happened and everything.
Right.
But yeah, we see that they finally, which I mean, I don't, which was I guess a little, she didn't, or he asked her not to pay, but then she instinctually tried to pay. So,
And then he was very upset about it.
but then it even too, right? Like, I don't know. In the grand scheme of things, this really wasn't that big of like a thing, right? But then, of course, they, this is the one little stake that they have now, the producers and everything. They're like, oh, we've got to drive this home of this could create reason for not getting together. And
But then it
everything.
eventually did.
Well, yes, right. Yes, I mean, ultimately, yes. I mean, I think the argument was good for them to have, because it did. Like I said, I don't think I would want to go into something. Well, no, I know I wouldn't want to. Not having a big disagreement first to at least know how we're gonna go about
Right.
things.
I just don't think this is really a relationship splitting argument. It could be like a small fight, but somehow it did lead to that happening, which
I mean, I think they try to elevate it where then it becomes, oh, is this, is she gonna be like this over any little thing? And you kind of get this tailwind of trying, because I don't know. I almost wonder if there's just, are they asking the producers, like asking them like, oh, are you sure? Like how, what if she starts doing this all the time? And they try to create almost these like doubts in the person's mind.
well, maybe that's what got Barta really thinking too.
Yeah, it's definitely possible. Because how much it just gets brought up is just, I mean, because it's their only thing, but it's like with each little person, right? They have their one little thing and then just over.
Well,
and
you're
over
saying
and
that, but that's
over and
actually what
over.
ended the relationship. So I don't know. Yeah, I do think they purposely brought it up because they missed the fight on camera. And they said, talk about this because we didn't film you guys doing
Yeah,
it.
that's true.
But it actually ended the relationship, so it was pretty significant. If they didn't have that argument, I don't think I don't know what would have happened. But
Yeah. Well, I mean,
but I think it was good. It was telling. It was telling of how Jed would handle an argument. He was icy in the car, or things were icy, and they couldn't really talk about it after.
things got frosty.
Frosty, there we go. And it clearly affected the two of them because he was talking to the guys about it and she was talking to the girls about it. So
I mean, I'm glad it happened for them because I think it was revealing for them.
yeah.
Regardless, I don't know. I guess I'm kind of being pushed on two sides, but ultimately, I guess I would lean towards. No, I think it's good it happened. And because I think you need that before you go into something like marriage. I mean, that would just be crazy.
Yeah. It's
I think.
very telling. So we see Megan showing her friends what Kieran looks like. They don't know what he looks like at this point. The friends that are at her bachelorette.
Well, because this too, we didn't see a moment where I guess this is the first time Megan's hanging out with her friends, because we saw where Megan met Kieran's friends, but we never saw Kieran meeting Megan's friends.
Right.
So I guess this is the first time. Clearly, I guess since she hasn't shown them, I can't imagine
Right.
she would have talked to them.
It's
and
just
not
strange
show
hanging
them.
out with your
and
friends and
your-
then saying, oh, yeah, here's what my husband looks like that you'll be seeing.
All right, here's my bachelorette party, and here's what he looks like.
Right. And then Ashley tells her friends about Billy's concern coming up again about her air hostess job. And her friend says, this is ridiculous. Don't let anybody dim your sparkle. And it's just unfortunate that this is what Ashley has to be talking about at her bachelorette party.
Yeah. I mean, this is the whole theme of theirs.
Yes. And Billy tells Cal, something isn't right. And then it sounds like he's just making a bunch of excuses. And Cal asks him if the wedding was tomorrow, what would you say? And he says, I would say no at this point. I'm going to think a lot about this. And then the way Billy talks about Ashley, he keeps using the word we.
Oh, this was like ridiculous because this, he kept saying, right, we don't know how we feel and everything, but we've seen Ashley say over and over and over.
I'm
that
100%.
Yes.
So we know how she feels. but he keeps looping her in so he feels less guilty. So
Yeah, just this it almost it felt like he was almost just trying to create an excuse for himself to believe to be able to get out of this versus actually having an interest in her. I don't know, because he said all these things about her that, but this whole doubt it just kind of felt like he was almost wanting an excuse.
yes, that's what it sounded like. So let's go into Bardha and Jed and their wedding day. So they talk a little bit about the fight that they had, and she said she's scared for the future, and he seems to be concerned about this too. But then they have really beautiful custom vows that they say to one another, which is why the end result was really shocking, because I thought, wow, like these are so beautiful, the words they're saying to each other.
It did feel like hearing those talk, because with like the America last season, the ones who didn't say no, like, or who said no, the vows were just not like,
Not
you
up
could
to
just
par.
tell because they were just kind of there because they have to say it, and then it was like the no, but these were so well over the top, and it just felt like, oh, maybe they must say yes, because how could you not say yes and say all these things?
Right. Yeah, so it was very crazy. So it comes time for Bardha to make a decision, and the camera zooms in on her face, and she says that she vows to do all of these things for Jed that she talked about, but just not right now because the timing's not right. So no.
Well, two things. One, I'd be interested to go back and look at other seasons. Is the first couple always? I feel like the first one's always a no. Well, I guess from my experience, because last season in the America we saw, Ben and Sarah the first ones, and they said no. Now we've seen these two, and they said no. If I wonder if it almost has this formula of like the first couple always
That would be so predictable if they did
says
that.
no. Yeah, I mean maybe not. It may just be coincidence, but it just because especially the build up of it. That's what I thought they were gonna say yes, but then there was this build up of her when it was waiting for her to say I do. I then kind of had to change of heart, and I was like, oh, she must say no at this point, because they're not, because it didn't even feel like the way they were editing it, right? Like they weren't just like putting in these clips of her just standing there or something earlier, or whatever, to make it look like she's uninterested or something, but it felt like she really was like hesitating there.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just some patched in thing. And so then I felt like I had this change of heart, because it was like, oh, I think she actually may not say yes. And
Yeah.
she didn't.
Yeah. So they tried to like pause you on the episode ending, but we could tell she wasn't going to say yes at this point.
Yeah, because we've seen where they've done it before, like other ones where you kind of knew they were going to say yes to each other, but then they still try to add like the suspension or the suspense.
So then Jed eventually talks to Bardha and asks her why. And she says, it's because of the argument that they had, and, it made her think that they're just not ready to move forward. And she tells him that she doesn't want it to end, though, the relationship. She still loves him with all her heart. And he corrects her and says 99% of it.
Yeah. That was like salt on a wound right there, that kind of statement. I mean, he's not wrong.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty deep. Oh, something I forgot to mention too, because hearing the vow, I thought it, but then I did remember going back to the preview. We saw the preview where Bardha was outside crying with
Right.
one of the bridesmaids, and
We thought that couldn't be a good thing because they're never outside with their veil on and crying for a good reason.
right, that one did not look good at all. And that also, I forgot, made me kind of remember, oh yeah, there's no way they make it, because that was like no, there's no way.
Why would they
that
even
it's,
show that? That gives it away that she was going to say no.
Yeah, because that was just like with a bridesmaid, and
I think it's like trickery. Like we almost forgot at that point because we're like, oh, their vows are so beautiful. They must say yes.
yes, yeah,
So we were like tricked a little bit.
because it is like this, with Taylor and Daniel, they had her crying with her father as like the scene, right? But that, like, you kind of figure like this must be like father daughter dance, or something where there's like an emotional moment. Like, I could see there's a good cry, a happy
Right.
cry there or whatever. But like the way they painted this one, I was like, there's no way this is a happy this is a happy cry.
Yeah, that's true. So she apologizes to his parents, and they are very understanding of them needing more time, which makes sense. I think this whole thing makes sense. She's not confident enough. They need more time to figure out their relationship. But every time this ends like this, I feel like there's no good way to move on with the relationship, too. Like, I couldn't see this lasting.
This is like my whole issue with the show is because, yeah, I think there's nothing wrong with them. They've been fine. They're going through what any normal relationship would go through. But because of this thing where you've got to have this proposal in marriage after 3 weeks, or however long it is, it totally like ruins the relationship. Because if someone's not ready, then it just like totally crushes it, and it's just like, right, how do we really move on from here or even keep things going? And now, unless she really just had no interest, and this is kind of the way of letting off, but it feels like this could have naturally been strong, or progressed well if they weren't under like this 3 week, timeline. If they just had their natural course, they probably would be okay. Like, they could have just had a conversation, like, hey, I'm not ready to do the marriage thing yet. Like, let's just date or whatever. But then it's like, they're probably obligated to have to go through with this wedding, and then
Right.
I don't know. That's where I'm like,
Whereas if you love the person, take a chance on the marriage and go for it, right?
yeah,
I don't think anyone has a conversation and says, "Oh my gosh, I like you, but let's just keep dating and not actually go through with this experiment."
yeah. I mean, it'd be, I guess, I don't know. It'd be like, hey, I just met you through this, and that's great. And like let's
Then you
just,
wouldn't be going through this experiment, right? Because you'd realize that before you signed up.
yeah. I mean, I wouldn't mind meeting like someone that way, but don't put me under this.
What do you mean don't put me under? You signed the dotted line
Well,
and put yourself
right. I
in.
know that it's the whole problem with this thing, but it's like, we just have a. Let's
And
just.
then that's insulting to the person you're saying that to. It's like, "Oh, you're not sure of it already? Okay. Thanks a lot."
Yeah, but I mean, how many? I don't know. I feel like they have some relationships that could probably work out if they just didn't have this quick timeline thing.
So it sounds like Jed was going to say yes, and he's in shock at this point.
Yeah, I mean, he's clearly pretty devastated by this whole thing, and I think too, because I guess the argument put doubts in their mind, but he was still willing to push through with it. But with her not, yeah, I think it's a heavier blow for him, because yeah, I mean, I can see where he, maybe he says, all right, well, if this argument was enough to make you sway your decision, then I guess I'm out.
Yeah.
But because he mentions he wants to take some time off and not talk to her for a while, but
Which I could understand that too.
yeah, which I think also pretty much means I'm moving on.
Yeah, I think it does. Because it's so insulting at this point. It's like, all right,
Yeah.
how can we move forward from this? But ultimately, they did have that dynamic where he's independent and she's independent. And it was almost like they would butt heads on things like paying the bills. And I guess that's what ultimately ended things.
I think it was just this thing of, yeah, I think it was for him almost lingering. If this was going to become, well, I don't know. I mean, he was willing to push past it, but
For her,
I
maybe
guess
it
she
was,
wasn't. Yeah.
yeah.
Because I guess it was just this thing, really. I guess, they're both so independent. And is that going to become this problem for them where they're going to kind of butt heads with it?
So let's move on to Sorover and Cal. They have a very colorful themed venue, which I thought was really pretty, all the different colors of flowers and everything that they had. And yeah, what'd you think?
Well, it looked like from the outside the building looked the same, but then like they're like wedding spots look different. So I guess,
Right.
I mean, it was a huge, it's a mansion of a place, so they may have just picked out different
I just like the decor she
parts
used
of it.
for
But I
her
like
part.
their area of like the building. I thought was the nicest.
What do you think about the colors they used?
Yeah, colors were.
I knew you had nothing to say about that.
I
And
was more like looking at the architecture of the building in the area with all the
well,
nice
yes, that was
arched
beautiful.
windows.
It was great.
That was more of my attention than the colors they used.
Wow. So we see a nice moment she has with her dad. And then we see the moment where he rips the sheet of paper.
Which I'd like to say was exactly how I thought it was going to play
You
out.
predicted this, that it was just the vows and he's deciding to speak from his heart. And it's like a meaningful moment, not like I'm ripping up these vows and walking away moment.
Yeah. Because, I mean, who would, like, I don't know. If you have some care for the person, you would, I don't think, make this big dramatic of ripping it up and be like, I'm not,
Yeah.
I need to run as far away from you as possible.
I mean, that would be just like so terrible.
Yeah,
for
I mean, you
someone
would
to do
want
that.
some.
You'd be a major jerk to do that in front of everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you'd be the talk of the town for everyone Love is Blind.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
But yeah, I
the
mean, there's
big
no way.
villain.
You'd always want to, it's always this like let down, very as gentle as possible. That would just be, very brash.
But he says a lot of nice things from his heart. He doesn't need to read off the sheet of paper, which was really nice. And they both say yes.
Yeah, I mean, in two, we talked, it was kind of seeing his brother kind of almost make a 180 because he, with the family meeting was like, oh, I don't think, he'll go in 6 months and then get cold feet and want to back out or something.
Yeah, and then this day he's so supportive. He's like, "Hey, you've got this. Like, Sorover's the one for you."
Well, it's weird because then Sal said this, or Cal said the same thing. On their wedding day or whatever to his brother, like, so I don't want to go into the 6 month and then get cold feet or whatever. And he's like, no, you got the
Right.
totally.
And then the brother wasn't agreeing with him at all this time.
Right. So that was, I mean, it was nice for his brother to do that, but it was just
Different.
I was shocked to kind of see his brother have a change of heart like that.
Yeah, so it's nice. The family support one another and everybody's supportive of them. They have a beautiful relationship. And then she changes into her Indian wedding gown for the reception, which was gold. And I like this dress.
Yeah, I mean, that was a nice taste, right? She lets her get her, because I'm sure that was probably the mother wanting her in that dress. So this was like, I think, a nice way to have both, right? She gets hers for the ceremony and then
Her traditional
honors
dress.
her mother
Yeah.
and with the.
I like that.
Yeah.
Well, honors her culture too, which is great. So let's go into Megan and Kieran now. So Kieran shocks us all by saying, I'm going to wear my top hat and use my cane, making my big entrance into here.
Yeah, but we were talking about this. I mean, I don't know. It didn't. You only wore it for the walking in.
Well, thank goodness is what I said. And then what you said was, oh, why? Like, you wouldn't like if I wore a cane and top hat? And
I wore a cane.
well, I guess you're wearing it because on your body. And you wear that in the front. And you said you would even wear it as I was walking down the aisle. And I told you that would totally ruin the walk down the aisle for me because I look at the other side and I see a circus performer at the front. I mean, sure, it's like fun to walk down the aisle and then get rid of it like he did. Yeah.
I mean, I would have, you get there and then I'd take it off and everything.
No, you said you'd
Or I
wear
don't
it
know,
for the
as-
walk down.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess it would be better if, like, as you're walking down, then like, once the doors open and
No,
you're
it-
there,
it
then
needs to
you
be gone
then
by
you
the
take
time
it
I'm
off
there.
and then you hold it. But I don't know. It's just like this big. He was so big about the top hat and cane, and then I don't. You barely even like saw him even walk with it. I don't know. It's just like
Great.
such a short time to even have it.
Well, he had it for a short time and that was it. I feel like the hat would have been such a distractor from their beautiful words they said to each other, from the beautiful moment where they both see each other for
I
the
would have
first
worn
time.
it while they're talking and saying the vows and stuff.
I would have been dying laughing at the hat and the cane walking down the aisle.
I'd give it for you to wear.
Yeah. Tip your hat and make me laugh like crazy. So there's some special moments with them and their family. And Megan has a nice moment with her mom. And then Kieran has this really nice moment with his father on this beautiful bridge water area, too. It looks so nice. And then his dad gave him his steam pump watch to wear.
Steampunk. It's like a style culture. It's a early 1800s kind of England. I'd never heard of steam pump, unless that's a type of watch, but I thought it was steampunk, which is like the style of.
Regardless of what the watch is called, he gave it to him, and it was a nice moment between father and son.
Yeah, I know this was a really nice gesture. I think that was very, Kieran took it very sentimentally, and I think it helped match his outfit as well, because that was a very, typical thing of the British to have with the vest and then have a pocket watch in the vest. So,
Yes.
yeah, paired nicely.
So we get to see close-ups, too, of their friends and family that came, and they're all pretty emotional and crying during their ceremony, and there's a lot of nice words said, and they both say yes, and they look really happy together. And this wasn't surprising to me. They always got along. They always seemed like a great couple, and I'm happy for them.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, yeah, they never really had any major. I mean, I don't know if they had any big major disagreements. Like, that'd be a little nervous going into that. But I mean, they kind of felt they meshed well the whole time. So
Yeah.
I've got good hopes for them.
Okay, so Joseph had to step away, so I will be going over Ashley and Billy here. And Ashley and Billy, I will say that we both thought that it wasn't looking very good for them. Ashley wasn't feeling good about things when her wedding day started, and he is talking to his friends and family and says he doesn't know what he's going to do. And he also says he doesn't know what Ashley's going to say, which Joseph and I thought, yeah, right. You don't know what she's going to say. She already told you what she's going to say. It's yes. So Ashley does have a nice moment with her dad. And then they start their venture down the aisle here. And we see Billy tearing up, which I thought this could be a really good sign that he's tearing up. He's getting very emotional. And I think in that moment, that's where he really connected and realized, yes, I'd like to move forward, because you could see it in his eyes there. So, but then they cut to clips of Billy looking a little uninterested when they're reading vows to each other. And I think maybe that could have been editing, or maybe he was nervous too. And so Billy ends up saying yes after Ashley says yes. Shocking, considering there's been so much focus on his doubt with this air hostess stuff. So he says he was fearful. He doesn't want to be divorced again, which is why he was so thoughtful about this decision. But he knew when he saw her how he felt and what he wanted out of this. So I think it really was that moment when he saw her walk down the aisle. He made that connection. So yeah, so the two of them had a nice wedding and they're together. And I hope things ended up working out there too. So thanks so much for joining us in this recap on A Fine Podcast of our wedding dresses, suits, bachelorette parties, and then ultimately all the weddings here. We had fun recapping those 2 episodes with you, and we look forward to recapping the reunion here in a little bit. So stay tuned for that. Please give us a comment, subscribe, and we will see you next time. Thanks so much. Bye.